Welcome to the Inderkum High School Senior Class of 2020 graduation. I'm your Senior ASB President, Iman Hundum. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We would now like to welcome our principal, Mr. Mothersbaugh.
Thank you, senior ASB officers. Tiger families, friends, and the class of 2020, welcome to our ceremony. My name is Dan Mothersbaugh, and I am honored to speak before you tonight as the proud principal of Inderkum High School. It is my pleasure to welcome our amazing students, their families, our Inderkum faculty and staff, and our Natomas Unified Governing Board and district leadership to the class of 2020 Inderkum High School graduation. Without the support of all of these people, none of this would be possible. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished guests. Our Natomas Unified School District Board President, Ms. Lisa Kaplan, Vice President, Mr. Scott Dosick, Clerk, Mr. Micah Grant, and board members, Mr. Jack Baines, and Dr. Susan Heredia. This evening, we are recognizing the accomplishments of our 2020 senior class. Over the course of the last 4 years, these young women and men before you have demonstrated the true attributes of a tiger. With the support of the entire Tiger family, these graduates have learned what it means to growl. Seniors, you have shown grit through your endeavors to overcome obstacles, including a pandemic, and never give up. You all showed grit in so many ways, accepting the challenge of rigorous courses, including AP, IB, CTE, and ARC coursework. Seniors, you've shown responsibility in serving your community to make it a better place. You've looked after family and friends in great times of need. Seniors, you have shown optimism through your work mentoring freshmen and link crew. You tackled 7 a.m. classes and countless hours at athletic and band practices with the optimism that your hard work would pay off, and it has. Seniors, you have shown great worldliness. Many of you have earned the California State Seal of Biliteracy, showing your ability to master more than one language to be successful in an ever-shrinking world. Seniors from the IB Learner Profile, you've shown that you are balanced. You have all balanced academics with athletic competitions, band competitions, drama performances, leadership activities, club involvement, and community service. Your balanced approach has led you to becoming the Tigers that you are today. To all of our Tiger families, thank you for your support in helping these young men and women learn to growl. The time, effort, love, and discipline that you have devoted to them has paid off. Tigers, I am honored to be a part of the Tiger family with you. I am honored to know you and look forward to all of the great things you have yet to achieve. To the class of 2020, go Tigers, growl. Now, please welcome senior class representative Brandon Bowie to the senior class speech.
Welcome, class of 2020 staff, friends, and family. I would like to say thank you for having me as part of the 2020 graduation ceremony for Inderkum High School. Before I start, I would like to give a quick shout out to my friends, family, and barber for all the support and love you guys offer me. Thank you. All right, here we go. I could go on all day about what COVID took away from us as the class of 2020. But honestly, that's not what we are here for today. We are here to celebrate the closing of a chapter in our lives as students at Inderkum. Although it was only 4 years, a small fraction of our lives, it feels like high school plays the biggest part in setting the foundation of who we become. Our foundation is set by a few different components, such as the memories we make during high school. We make academic memories that stay with us, like how to dissect a frog, thanks Mr. Tashian, or how to write a strong thesis statement, Miss Pitts. We also make other memories. It could be any memory. Our first rally hearing the seniors roar while we sat there in silence, or going to homecoming expecting it to be like one of your middle school dances. That was a real surprise. Seeing the school's true spirit when Party in the USA comes on, and I can't forget the walks to T4 after school on Friday. Even though we all grew out of those phases, we can all look back and agree, those were the good old days. We were all able to live a little carelessly, not having to worry about Mr. Pugh coming into class and asking us that dreadful question about something like, how are you using your time after school to invest in yourself? And you knew all you were doing after school was playing Fortnite or on your phone for hours upon hours. Another part is the friends you make. One thing we can all agree on is high school can be a rough path. To make it easier, we make friends. Making friends in high school is a strange thing to me. Who would have ever thought that a stranger in your English class would now be a friend you know will be a friend for the rest of your life? I just went to Mexico to build a house with a friend I met in trigonometry my sophomore year. The thing I learned about friends is the impact they have. A good set of friends can decide if your high school years are going to be filled was fun or just plain and simple. It's also important to have friends because they can help us with our life choices. We can rely on friends to help us make important decisions like where to go to college or something as simple as like where to eat. I'm glad I was able to be involved at Inderkum, where I was able to learn many life lessons to help me become who I am today. During my time at Inderkum, I was able to see many diverse backgrounds, helping me learn about many cultures and be open-minded. I think we should all be open-minded in life and keep a positive outlook. We should make the best of every situation, such as when we were faced with being handed our diploma through a drive-thru. It was different, but think about it. We are making history. What a time to be alive. Where we stand right now, some of us might not know what we want to do. Some of our fellow graduates will go on to serve in the military and protect our freedom, while others go on to become doctors and save lives. And some people may start their own business. There are many different paths we can take, but remember, once a tiger, always a tiger. Don't forget to keep growling. Class of 2020, out.
Thank you, Brandon. Now, please welcome your salutatorian, Isabel Gatdula.
Welcome graduates, family, friends, staff, and all those who have supported the class of 2020 on our journey throughout high school. And what an incredible one it's been. Our current situation is a perfect example of education being so much more than learning out of a textbook, memorizing facts, and earning a grade. If we're all being quite honest, we're likely to forget how to solve differential equations, the exact dates that certain laws were passed, and how to calculate an iodine number. But what we'll never forget are the ingrained lessons and mindset that Inderkum has so skillfully implemented during our 4 short years there. Our education to this point has taught us how to be calm amidst a whirlwind of deadlines and activities. Tough classes have taught us to be persistent and committed. Rapidly approaching due dates taught us how to work well under pressure. Juggling 6 or more classes and extracurriculars taught us how to manage our time when it felt like we didn't have enough of it, even though right now it might seem like we have too much of it. Every single assignment, even the ones we claimed were pointless and the ones online, were teaching us how to develop a strong work ethic. And all of these things are so important to remember as we face this time full of uncertainty. They've taught us, without us even realizing it, how to survive in the very real and complicated world after high school, even though our class has been hit with the harsh realities of it a little sooner than expected. And don't even get me started on the learner profile that governs Ivy World schools like ours. I love the learner profile. It has become a sort of mantra in my life, and I'm sure the lives of my fellow graduates as well. Inquirers, knowledgeable, thinkers, communicators, principled, open-minded, caring, risk-takers, balanced, and reflective. Those 10 words do a phenomenal job of summing up the type of person that Inderkum produces. Encouraging these traits and seeing them on classroom walls every day has built character in each of the graduates before you today. Inderkum teachers and staff, you should truly be proud of how you are raising this generation. I want to end with a quote that was also my senior quote, which I believe is a bit more relevant now. "We did not come to fear the future. We came here to shape it," by Barack Obama. Class of 2020, the circumstances under which we are graduating do not devalue the diploma in our hands and the years we spent working hard to earn it. Some of us are the first in our families to graduate high school or attend college. We should be proud. What we do with this diploma is what the world will remember when it looks back on this time in history. Are we going to let our lives be ruled by fear, or are we going to take control of what we can and shape the future into a better one for all? We can learn from this experience too, just like we learned from all those tough classes, assignments, and deadlines, and how we learn from every single hardship that we face. So let's use this unique situation to come together. Not literally, of course. Please stay home. But this is the time to show the whole world our generation's resilience. That we are strong, that we are smart, that we pay attention to science, that we celebrate diversity, we acknowledge our privileges, and are committed enough to our education to pursue it even when it's through a screen. That we are here to change the world, to leave it a little better than we found it, and nothing can stop that. That we are the future, and the future is exceptionally bright. Thank you for attending our virtual, but not any less remarkable graduation. And congratulations to all of you well-deserving grads. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. Now, please welcome your valedictorian, Fola Asibiomo.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to take this time to let everyone know that the class of 2020 just spent the last 4 years learning. And I know this really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, considering that that's the whole idea behind school. However, I do believe there is something extraordinary to be said about how our class learned here at Inderkum. Just 4 years ago, we were tiny little freshmen convinced we were the perfect class, 2020 vision and all. And the majority of this graduating class actually started their journey here at Inderkum. Others, like myself, elsewhere. Regardless of where we began our journey or when we joined the Tiger family, what we do have in common is that we're all here today. Not here in my bedroom, but here in celebration. As the class of 2020, we have progressed through the years together as part of one of the most diverse high schools in the nation. And the diversity of our beautiful school and the collective stories it holds is one of the foundational reasons for why we all turned out pretty amazing. We are a class of firsts, of record breaks, of undefeated seasons, and countless perfect stories. And the beauty within all of this is how diversity played a role, because it works as a trigger, encouraging us to dig deeper into who we are. When you can look around and see a multitude of different perspectives, different backgrounds, and different narratives, you can better understand how unique your own story is. You can realize that you truly are the only one capable of sharing and building that story. And I believe that in every story as complex as yours or mine, there are lessons to be learned. And that is how learning at Inderkum, inside and outside the classroom, has shaped the class of 2020. Together, we have showered each other in school spirit and support from peer to peer, from leaders to links. In every program of our school, we have displayed our willingness to learn from each other's stories. And we've learned a lot. We've learned to be grateful for each other and for our teachers who've worked tirelessly these past 4 years to get us to this point. We saw that effort clearly just the other week as they waved and cheered and handed us a ton of free stuff. We've learned to celebrate each moment we have with each other, even in the worst of situations. We learned that we as a class didn't, in fact, have 2020 vision because we didn't see any of this coming. And yet here we still are, rolling with all the punches and confident in the power and uniqueness of our own individual stories. And as all of us today celebrate together one last time, I want to remind you, as you roar out into the world, college and career ready, remember to continue to learn from the diverse individual experiences of yourself and those around you. Continue to develop chapters of your vivid and complex stories, and never, ever forget that you were once and always will be a tiger.
Thank you, Fola. Please welcome your faculty speaker, Mr. Justin Overstreet.
Hello, class of 2020, parents, family members, teachers, and Ntomas Unified staff. Seniors, congratulations. You've actually achieved what no other previous class could. You got me to give this speech. However, you're going to get what you paid for, so expect some history, some sports, and some Star Wars references. So we find ourselves in this unique moment in world history, something really straight out of a high school history class. We hear comparisons to things like the Spanish flu of 1918 and the Great Depression. Those situations, of course, created a lot of uncertainty, and our current situation is doing the same. However, the world ultimately came out stronger from both of those events. As President Roosevelt famously said after he was elected in 1932 to confront the Great Depression, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And by this, he meant that we had the capacity to meet the challenges of the day and overcome to create a better society. Another quote usually attributed to Albert Einstein, but we're not really sure about that. Remember, we always need to check our sources. In the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. FDR took the opportunity of the Great Depression with his New Deal programs to remake the United States into a country that did much more to address the needs of its citizens. So, class of 2020, I hope perhaps you can take a leading role in determining how we can move forward and remake our world to be more fair, compassionate, and peaceful, whatever the next step in your journey is. We also acknowledge that those next steps may be a bit uncertain. We see that colleges are turning to online schooling for the fall, and of course this is not the way anybody wanted to start their career or their college experience after high school. But again, we can be fearful and angry about these things, or we can use this opportunity to spend more quality time with family members perhaps. Just think, if it wasn't for this crisis, you might not have watched 10 hours of a documentary with older family members that finally and definitively answered the biggest question of our time. Yes, Michael Jordan was better than LeBron James. I'd like to close with one final quote that I'd actually like to turn on its head for our purposes. In the greatest movie of all time, The Empire Strikes Back, Yoda tells a young Luke Skywalker, "Do or do not. There is no try." This is meant to convey a full commitment to whatever your task is. And that's great, but you also shouldn't be afraid to try and fail. Luke Skywalker was destined to become a Jedi and save the galaxy, but what if he wasn't? He would have had to go do something else, go try something new. So as you move forward, you'll likely find yourself trying to make sense of what the best path is for you. And that generally means trying different things and embracing that. If you ask your teachers and your parents how their current job and life situation compares to what they thought it would be when they were 18, I bet most of them had different futures in mind. So that uncertainty is okay. And trying different majors and jobs, all this leads you to ultimately where you need to be. And it's nothing to be scared of, because remember, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And fear is also the path to the dark side, so watch out for that. So class of 2020, on behalf of the other teachers at Inderkum High School, I salute you, congratulate you, and wish the best for you as you move forward in these somewhat uncertain times. Remember, we will be with you, always.
Thank you, Mr. Overstreet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to begin the presentation of diplomas. Ms. Kaplan, President of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to recommend to you the candidates for graduation from Inderkum High School for the 2019-2020 school year. They have satisfactorily completed all the requirements prescribed by the state of California and the Natomas Unified School District.
Congratulations, Inderkum High School senior graduating class Tigers. Are you ready? All right. Now, by the virtue of the power vested in me by the state of California and the Natomas Unified School District, I confer upon each one of you the diploma for high school graduation for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations appertain thereunto. You are senior strong graduating class, and I offer my heartfelt congratulations.
Will the class of 2020 please stand? Graduates, please move your tassel from the right to the left side. It is my honor to present to you the Inderkum High School graduating class of 2020. Go Tigers! Growl!